Hello, everybody. Hopefully, you're having a good evening, afternoon, morning, whatever it is where you is. I'm sure there's some people who are on the other side of the world. Welcome to Midnight's Edge After Dark. I am Tom Connors. With me so far is Six. How are you doing, Six?
Yay! I finally got Tom alone.
like,
Yay!
Yay!
say you're probably the only person excited about that. But anyhow.
Well, thanks. You're supposed to be excited.
Well, I mean,
too.
like, as far as the audience goes, they're just like, and?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, I'm sure some other people might be coming in eventually. Sometimes people show up after the show starts, it seems. But we're going to say hello to people, do a few updates, and get into the main topic here. We got Grand Admiral Adams saying, Tom and Six sitting in a tree, Kissing. Well, it's kind of hard when you're that far away, but
Yeah.
yeah. Then we've got Stephanie here. We got Sander here. How you doing, D-Bud Martin? We got Gotham Bat. We have Mecha J. We've got Goddess of Whim here. We have Film Watcher. We have LQ3. We got Shrap 3D. We got Pete Den Cat. Donnie Pearson's here. How you doing? We got Aaron Ratliff. Sorry, no C in there. Thank you for being here, guys. Hit that like button. Share out the stream. The Cheese Factor's here. Eli McInnes is here. SXHBK and E. Clay Thompson are here as well as Tex Florida and Dr. Dragon, Knight of Snoke, so many more. Thank you for being here. We appreciate that. We had a little update. I don't know if you remember this story from a while back about the sucker punch that Rick Moranis had taken in New York.
Oh gosh, yeah. Was that like 8 months ago or something?
Actually, it was.
Wasn't it in the winter?
Yeah, it was a while back here. Let me see here, but it might even say in this story. But we have an update now.
Oh, nice.
Looks like the guy, they caught him, and he's looking at 2 years in prison.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it was late 2020, so it's already been, almost 2 years now. Wow. Marquise Ventura, 37, will be sentenced to 2 years in prison after pleading guilty to felony assault stemming from his attack on actor Rick Moranis in late 2020. Ventura, who faced up to 3 years in prison, was promised the sentence for pleading guilty to assault in the second degree, along with 6 additional charges, that pertain to 4 other victims. 4 other fucking victims, and he's only getting 2 years? Wow.
Did he just go on a hitting
punching spree? I guess. Yeah.
Or was he robbing people?
I don't think he did, because here's the video with Rick, if you guys remember. No, he just knocks his ass out and keeps walking.
That's messed up.
I don't know if you guys can see it. I'll make it bigger here. There we go. There's the individual.
Okay.
And then in a second here, it'll probably show the... Oh, they don't show the punch in this one. They're just... Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, but he just keeps walking.
What a little pussy.
Yeah. I don't think he was robbing anyone, because he's not being charged with robbery at all, it doesn't look like.
Just assault?
Just assault. So yeah, he must have been just going out and playing the punching game. Which I hate referring to it as that, but that's kind of what it is. For those who don't know, it's inspired by, loosely inspired by Grand Theft Auto, basically just going around and punching people for no random reason. And to me, I think it should be, honestly, I've been one of those who's been advocating that this sort of thing should be bumped up to attempted murder. Because I think there was at least one person who has died from their injuries of this in the past.
Well, maybe they figure, well, a typical person can't kill somebody with just one punch.
Yeah, but it's not always just the punch. It's what else they hit on the way down.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
And we also have joining us the one, the only Culture Casino.
Oh, my gosh, Culture.
He is alive.
Hello.
Oh, it's a fake robot Culture Casino. It sounds like the ones I get on the phone that says, "We're here to save you money on your car insurance."
Wait, am I supposed to sound more robotic?
It sounds like he bought his microphone on Wish.
Yeah, are you on the right mic?
I don't know.
That's a little better.
That's
Maybe
better.
You're just too far away.
Because you're so far away from me.
So far away from me.
That's a great song.
You're so far away from me.
You're so far, I just can't see.
So good news here, sort of, for Rick anyway. He's got a little bit of justice. I mean, prison's not a great place to be, but I'm a little more upset that it's 4 other people. I'm sorry, it should be like 4 years, at least.
Yeah.
I mean, if it was just Rick, then the 2 years I'm fine with. I think that's a just due sentence. But you got 4 other incidents of this shit, so that's 5 incidents. That should be a
Well,
year for each, if you ask me.
Yeah, except that, when you hit somebody that age where you hit him from behind, that is real close to trying to off somebody.
Well, that's funny because I was just saying that before you hopped in here, so you probably didn't hear me, but I was saying I'm one of those who advocates that this whole punching game thing should be up to attempted murder.
It should
or
be.
attempted homicide or whatever you want, a little bit lesser charge, whatever, but still, it's to me it should be bumped up because you, like we were just saying, same exact thing you were just saying, depending on where your hit culture, what you hit on the way down, because I know there's at least one individual, I remember an elderly individual that died from this stupid shit.
Yeah.
And Rick is not a young individual himself. I mean, he's almost 70 years old.
Did he hit the ground when this man attacked?
Yes. Yeah, he hit the ground. Ooh. I would say he probably got more. That's what I was saying. A lot of times people get more hurt from hitting the ground and shit like that than the actual punch itself. But it's still ridiculous. And I've been sucker punched before when I was in the middle of a fight. So I didn't like that, let alone somebody just walking up and hitting you. I mean, come on. I mean, it's just crazy. But he's going to go to prison, so maybe he'll have some time to think about it. Yeah, and that guy's huge compared to Rick, I'm sure, on top of it all.
Well, yeah, Rick's not a big guy.
No. But welcome. How you been there, Culture? You've been away for a couple weeks.
Yeah, no, it's just been busy, my friend. Busy. Lots of busies. But I'm glad to be hanging out here for a little bit. And I've been missing you. I've been missing both you and Six.
You gonna start singing Rolling Stones?
Yeah.
No, isn't that Corey Hart?
Oh, there's that one too.
Yeah.
Missing you.
We could turn this into karaoke.
We just do it real quick, but of course, EZRA Miller can't let that happen.
No. This guy is a running tally sheet of bad news.
He was spotted at his mother's in Vermont with a porn stash.
Sweet.
And now, because I was like, well, I had a big dentist appointment today, and I barely made it back. As you see, we had the show a little later.
Yeah.
I mean, there really wasn't a whole lot to talk about, but then now all of a sudden, between, Ezra popping up, we had an update from Rolling Stone. For those who may remember, if you were watching the other day, I was asking everybody, I'm like, what about all that shit at his farm? Yeah. Wasn't the Child Protective Services and all that stuff involved? So yeah, the Vermont Child Protective Services Department has been investigating the situation, which has also led to this other story, I believe, on top of all the other crap that's come out in the last few days, where the media is finally catching up with what I've been saying for the last few months, or weeks, I should say, more like weeks. Not 32 weeks anyway, but we do have 32 flavors of Nick Weiser.
Hey, guys.
Nick.
Nick Weiser.
Thank you, guys. Tom, how are you, sir?
I'm doing the best I can. How about yourself?
I'm good. Sorry I was a little bit late. Had some stuff come up, but I got it taken care of, so...
You had some pizza to eat.
I wish that was the case. No, I had a detour of traffic. I had to turn back the other way around and go through a whole other route to get home. And it cost me a whole lot of extra time. But who cares about that? That's not relevant. Hail to the chat. What's up to mods? Hello, Six. Hello, Culture. Hey. We got more EZRA Miller news. And can we get Tom a share of aviators here? And can he spin in a chair and maybe do the fuck you, I was right thing? Because I think he was on to something all those weeks ago. I'm just saying, Tom.
Fuck you, I was right. Fuck you, I was right. The Razor Fist thing. Yeah.
Weeks ago.
I don't have that one, but I have this one.
I fucking knew it! Oh!
I'll take it.
Tom is like 100 for 100.
On this DC shit, yeah.
Dude, you're
I trust my sources pretty wholeheartedly on this. Well, let's grab these super chats before we actually get into the story. We've got Elf. He says, where's Mikey?
Mikey!
Indeed, where is Mikey?
He owes me frustration from the last time. He's
boy.
Working. He's catching up on work that he's been behind on, so I'm sure if he can jump in later, he will, but I wouldn't count on it tonight. But we miss Mikey. Pilgrim Media says, in Florida, over 65, it's an enhanced penalty. Good. It should be. And it should be worse than that, to be honest with you. Anybody who's dumb enough to do something like that deserves that. Chrisma1 says, did Warner Brothers really shield Ezra from public while he did reshoots? Night. No, I don't know if I would go to that extent. Because he was doing the reshoots in June, right in the midst and before a lot of that shit dropped. Like, he'd gotten arrested, but he didn't get arrested the second time until after the reshoots, and the expose dropped after the reshoots. And all the other accusations have come in the wake of that. So I don't know if I'd really go as far as to say they shielded him per se, but they definitely wanted this shit to stop and go away. Because at that point, still in June, they were committed with him. But I've been saying since then, they're not necessarily committed to him anymore. So we'll see on that part. And we had one from D-Bud Martin I missed. Let me see here. Where'd it go? Was it from before the show or just recently? There it is. I found it.
First.
$6. Ooh. Woo. As odoriferous, if I'm saying that right. I know the word, but if I'm saying it right. Odoriferous.
Yeah, odoriferous. Yeah.
As Ezra is, maybe his pronouns should be Pigpen. And everybody sub to MEAD Radio, the best pirate radio on YouTube. Arr, that's right. Thank you. Yeah, for those who don't know, he's supposed to have a very pungent smell.
Ew.
Yeah. Like he smells like 10 hippies who haven't had a fucking bath in a few years from what I heard.
Yeah, Andre was saying that on that last video. What
like
is
a hobo,
my
I think he said.
Was the whiteness of it all. I cracked up laughing when I heard that quote, the whiteness of it all. I'm like, holy crap, that's good.
So all right, I'm gonna get into this article here.
All right.
All right. The fate of Warner Brothers' Flash hangs in the balance as actor Ezra Miller continues to make headlines for their controversial behavior and various arrests. An outright shelving of the film is not off the table, though it would be a last resort. And this is kind of what we've come to understand here. Oh, we got somebody. Sil, how you doing, buddy? Welcome to the show.
Hey.
On time. Always good.
There we go. We can hear you now. How you been?
All right, doing good. Just jumping in on the conversation here. More Ezra, so I'm ready.
Well, it looks like the media is starting to catch up with what myself and some of what Mikey's been hearing. So, yeah, we're just starting off this article, so you haven't missed much at all, really.
Cool.
The last part was the outright shelving is not off the table. But it would be your last resort. Warner's and its new parent company, Warner Bros. Discovery, had hoped to avoid the line of fire because its big-budget DC superhero tentpole isn't scheduled to hit theaters until June 23rd of 2023. But the pressure is mounting by the day. That's what I've been saying. On Monday, the actor was charged with felony burglary, and on Wednesday, Rolling Stone reported that Vermont Child Services Department is attempting to locate a mother and 3 children who have allegedly been residing at Miller's farm in the state. A source with knowledge of the situation says the studio appears to be preparing for 3 possible scenarios. First, isn't that funny? First, Warner. If this is exactly
door
what
number
I think,
1.
just so you guys know, I have not read this fucking article yet. I'm reading this fresh. Okay, I just got home, and I have not had a chance to even look at this. Six sent it to me, so if this is all the shit I've been telling you guys for the last few weeks, just get prepared for me to go, I fucking knew it 20 times. First, Warner's hasn't
3 paragraphs down.
Yeah. First, Warner's hasn't received indication that 29-year-old Miller, whose mother has occupied the actor in recent days, will seek professional help after returning home to the farm in Vermont after being away. Uh-oh. If that happens, Miller, who goes by they/them pronouns, could give an interview at some point explaining their erratic behavior over the past few years. The actor could then do limited press for The Flash, and the movie would open in cinemas as planned. See, that's what I had said yesterday is a possibility. Second scenario, even if Miller doesn't reach out for help, Warner's could still release the film, but don't expect Miller to play a prominent role in terms of marketing and publicity, nor would Miller be the Flash going forward. We already knew this is not going to be. As the role would be recast, he's already done. The third, the situation with Miller deteriorates further. This would see Warner's killing the movie outright, as it could not be reshot with a different actor. Yes, it can. Miller plays multiple characters, and it's almost every scene. Scrapping a $200 million film would be an unprecedented move. You can reshoot it. I don't know who they're fucking talking
but
to.
they don't want to pay for it, Tom.
Yeah,
that's the
I know.
thing. That's all it is. They can do it, but they don't want to.
Yeah, that's just it. I'm like, yeah. Anyway.
They can reshoot it.
All of this comes amid a change at Warner's earlier this month. They haven't even said who the source of this is. All of this earlier this month, newly minted Warner Brothers Discovery CEO David Zaslav stunned Hollywood when shelving Batgirl, a $90 million movie made for HBO Max. Unlike The Flash, there was no individual controversies involved. Rather, Zaslav opted to take the tax write-down on the project and pivot away from making streaming films for DC. Miller was cast as Flash in 2014, the same year a solo Flash film was announced. The development process has been a long one, with multiple directors coming and going over the years until filmmaker Andy Muschietti finally got the project off the ground. The film also stars Michael Keaton back as Batman for the first time in 30 years, and Ben Affleck as a different version of Batman. Miller began their time as the Flash, blah, 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 blah. Okay, more crap we already know. Earlier this week, word broke that they had been charged with felony burglary for allegedly stealing bottles of alcohol from a Vermont home. According to a police report posted online, Vermont State Police were notified May 1st of a potential burglary when residents on County Road in Stamford, Vermont reported that several bottles of alcohol were taken from within the residence while the homeowners were not present. Blah, I was doing good there for a while, then I had to fuck it all up. Following an investigation that including taking statements and reviewing surveillance videos, police found probable cause to charge Miller. The latest charge comes after Miller was arrested in April in Hawaii and booked on suspicion of second-degree assault per the Hawaii police. The incident reportedly occurred when Miller was attending, and this is more shit we already know, more shit we already know, more shit we already know. Okay.
Just a source, Tom. Kim Masters is pretty good. I just want to say, I think she really did her due diligence with
Despite the arrests and headlines about Miller's alleged behavior, Zaslav said last week the studio is committed to a theatrical release for a number of DC films, including The Flash. We've seen them. We think they're terrific. And, just more stuff that we've already said.
Mm-hmm. It's those three options. That's the big thing with this article. Those three options that they're circling.
Well, I think there's still a fourth option, but like I said, that was always a broad possibility.
That's your option, Tom. That's a Tom option.
Well, no, that's just what I was told. No, I was told by a source who actually kind of works closer to, let's say, like I said, the special effects side of things, said that the thing that a lot of these people don't realize is that these movies are already shot in front of green screen 90% of the time anyway. Like, so to reshoot another actor would not be as difficult as people would think. They basically would have to deconstruct the movie and then reconstruct it from the ground up, basically. But
you make that sound simple, Tom.
I know it doesn't. It does. It's a little bit more complicated than it sounds, but it's not as difficult as others may make it sound. And welcome to the program, Valiant. I don't know if you've been keeping up, but how you been, buddy?
Hey, sorry, I had to grab something real quick right when you cut me in. So
PR.
Oh man.
So that's the basics of this. So Six, let's start with you. What's your reaction to this latest news here from Kim Masters and Pamela McClintock?
How you doing, Six? Nice to meet you.
Good. Nice to meet you as well.
Sorry about
Well, I already knew this because you told me, Tom. You guys have been saying this on Midnight's Edge for a while now. It's not really a shocker to anybody, but like you said, it's nice that the industry media is finally catching up. And Kim Masters, I think, Sil, you gave her an endorsement. I follow her on Twitter. I've been following her for a while. And Frank, Mr. Kennedy Marshall, also follows her. And he's frequently liked and retweeted stuff that she's done. So I agree with her being a pretty reliable source.
It is.
All right. So, Sil, since you just joined us alongside Valiant, you've been keeping on top of this for a while, of course, with Mikey Sutton. So, what's your take on this?
Interesting, right? Because there was a Rolling Stones report as well. I think they touched on that. The lady and the
actually brought that up just before you got here. Yep.
Interesting. I actually knew about that story 3 days ago. All right. So I was in touch with people that know Ezra Miller. They can reach him at any time. And that story is actually true. I know people try to refute, like, what's true, what's not, but that's actually true, though, that that lady and her kids, basically, they're trying to get the kids back. The baby daddy is a whole story with that. But anyway, Ezra's trying to hide them, but okay. As far as this here, what's going to happen going forward, it's literally these choices, right? Ezra's supposed to finally get treatment. They lied about treatment the last couple weeks. That's been debunked, that they never got treatment. Now, Ezra, if he doesn't get treatment, they're just going to put the film out and he's done. if he like murders someone, then they'll probably then cancel the film. That's probably how far it needs to go.
Wow.
Or be like Army Hammer at this point. Then they'll probably cancel the film, right? But right now, Zaza, as far as all indications, they want this film out next summer. They want to put it out. They will just market Keaton and Affleck. I have a big story tomorrow. Quick plug of my channel, Sub to Inc. I got a big story with Flash tomorrow. They're making changes. They got a backup plan just in case Ezra screws up again. So, and I'll talk about that this weekend. But they're going to market this film no matter what, whether Ezra's a part of it or not. Case in point, next month, Ezra's in the film with Ben Kingsley, Dollyland. I think it's coming out at the Toronto Film Festival next month. Ezra's in the film as a supporting role, but they're not marketing him at all. They're not saying anything about him. They're just going to play the film. Oh, that's Ezra, and like, let's not talk about him. That may be what Zaza does next year to just get this film out and just lean on the Batman. So that's what I think is going to happen.
Mm-hmm. Culture.
Well, I'd like to say I'm surprised by any of this. I'm just not. Again, I mean, it just reiterates everything that, that has been floating around in our little sphere and everything that everybody's been reporting. So it's strange that we end up in the position that we are where, everybody else in the media finally gets here. But at the same time, it's interesting to hear from Syl that we're looking at the same three options that we've kind of been talking about for a while. So, if they're looking at it the same way we are, I would expect that, Ezra's going to get treatment. Ezra's not going to get treatment. The Flash movie is going to come out in some form or fashion, and it may include a different actor. But at the end of the day, they don't want to leave this thing floating in the wind because there's too much invested in it for the rest of DC.
Well, that's the other thing. Is it too late for them to get the tax break on it like they did with Batgirl? That's the
well,
other thing,
again, I mean, it all comes down to, and I've asked VR this question multiple times in case he might have learned a different answer. Where is this at as far as the completion bond or anything like that? Because, I mean, that's how you figure out whether or not you're going to collect insurance on something or not.
Mm-hmm. I think they committed. I don't know if VR has something with that. I think they committed to releasing this, and Zaza said this to the investors at the earning call last week. I think he committed to this film, whether that's good or not. But unless something else is to be said about that.
Did you have anything to add there, VR? Or?
Well, yeah. I mean, everybody's ears perked up during the live call. I did a stream on it, and I mean, it definitely jumped out at me. I even broke in the middle of what he was saying, in the middle of it, and said, "Hey, God, he just said the Flash." Yeah. But of course, I stipulated right after that. I said, "Look, chat, don't freak out too much. That does not necessarily mean that it's Ezra Miller Flash, right? I mean, anything could still happen. They're committed to the character. They're committed to a film. That doesn't mean they're committed to the film they have in the can right now." They have, I mean, according to sources, the part of the Hollywood Big Three, Variety, THR, Deadline, there's some kind of mid-August deadline that goes along with this. So we're reaching that breaking point now. I would say into this weekend and next week, a decision is going to have to be made. It looks like to me that they're committed to still having a movie with the Flash. I think that's part of the reason that, frankly, lesser known, lesser well-received commodities like Batgirl had to go along with other things because they had to get some cost recovery, some balance sheet relief somewhere. And they felt like that was the better place to go financially than was this film. That being said, in this article, I had clipped a piece of it from this morning and quoted it, I think on Twitter around, maybe 10 o'clock this morning. There's a paragraph in here that says THR themselves, this is not from Warner Brothers, I don't think, but this is from THR basically saying that they can't reshoot this film. Ezra's in every scene and he plays multiple characters.
Which is what they've been saying for a while, but
yeah,
that's one thing I've maintained that that's...
You think it's a workaround, Tom? Right?
There is a plausible workaround. It's going to cost. It's going to cost.
Yeah. And that's just it. I think
that's just it. Zaslav is the kind of guy where he might... Well, go ahead. Sorry, Valiant. You had something to say there.
No, I was just going to say, I think, like I said before, I think that's part of the reason that you type, you basically deep six a project like Batgirl, get some cost recovery, get some balance sheet relief, take the write down, and perhaps you can reallocate some of that into something like this, at least from a tax standpoint. I mean, if they do it, it's going to take. There's no way it's coming out next summer. I mean, if they have to reshoot this
See, and
thing,
that's what we've been hearing. Yeah, is
Yeah,
that
if
both
they
Aquaman and this are going to get pushed back? Sorry.
well, Aquaman's a lot easier of a fix. I mean, we're talking about a few minutes in a film with one.
Well,
actor's
that's what we're
screen.
hearing.
they
is
already
It's a little
fixed
bit
Aquaman.
more. I was going to say, I think it's actually we're heard a little bit more extensive than what just swapping out Ben Affleck and
Well, it's Mara too.
Mara.
Yeah.
I heard they were actually trying to fix some storyline aspects of it as well.
Well, maybe so, but I mean, they're going to have something come out next summer.
Well, that was what I was saying is they'll end up pushing Aquaman into the summer, and then they'll move Flash either out to next Christmas or even the summer after.
Whatever they do, if they're really sitting here working on a 10-year plan, they're going to have to take existing things that are in the can and make sure that they're retooled to the point to where they can fit into this new 10-year
Right.
plan. You know, that's the key. So if it's a matter of, Ezra dies in the first 30 seconds of the movie, then they move on to a new guy, which I
Wishful
think
thinking.
audiences would love and think would be hilarious.
Yeah, standing applause like.
Because why not? I just don't know at this point. The bottom line is all Zaslav is doing is, what can I do at this point with this film that is least financially damaging? And it may come down to a decision where he says, this is already done. This is a sunk cost. We can toss it into theaters. We are going to spend the least amount possible to market this thing. And if we can get this movie to 300 or 400 million worldwide, that might be just enough to have a cost recovery on the production budget. And then we move on. Because right now they're staring down the barrel of throwing out 200 million or spending another 100+ million to fix it, in addition to another 100 million to do or 150 million by that point to do a serious marketing campaign, or they leave it alone and spend, what?
This thing's over 260 now, dude. You're being optimistic, thinking it's sitting at 200. This thing's way over that.
Yeah, it's close.
Well,
to
I'm
3.
just going by what the stated budget is for the moment, right?
Okay.
I'm sure there's a lot more stuff, and I'm saying that's my point. Is they got 200 million they've committed to it, and if they're having to do extensive reshoots, if that's what they're going to do, that's going to bring in another $100+ million in costs on top of the original allocation. That's where I'm going with it. So, I mean, he's got some decisions to make, and the best decision may be leave well enough alone, put it out, don't spend a whole lot of money marketing, try to recover as much cost as possible, move on. Although I just don't know how likely it is. If they hadn't said they had a whole new 10-year plan, I might think that's what they would do. But then how do you put this movie out that then leads you into this new 10-year plan? Because this can't be part of it.
That's interesting. If Zaslav didn't say anything on the earnings call, VR, maybe it could be like, oh, he has some wiggle room. He kind of put it. He put it out there to the investors. You got Goldman Sachs. You got other people there that he was telling. Yeah, we got the Flash. We like the film. It's coming out, right? So
well, he didn't say we like the film. He just said we have the Flash.
Technically, he did
to
say
make it
that,
better.
but
I think he said.
Did he?
But he said you also, that was the thing, is there was a hedge to that. But Culture, was there anything else you wanted to add before we move over to Nick?
No, just that they spent money in June on reshoots. They spent a bunch of money on some marketing for this already. There is a lot of more sunk costs in this. There's a lot more.
But how much reshooting did they do? I can't talk. Did they do in June?
I don't know.
A couple of weeks?
I don't know exactly.
Yeah, it was about
a couple
like
weeks.
2 weeks probably.
Well, okay. Here's the thing: 2 weeks is not a big deal because pretty much every single movie that gets shot out there, they're going to allocate, let's say, 90 days for principal photography. Every one of these things, every one of these contracts has pickup shoots built in.
Right.
They always have like 2 weeks or so of pickup shoots built into original content. So if they only did 2 weeks of reshoots, that's kind of stock standard. Now, it's not like Doctor Strange where they did 6 weeks. 6 days a week for 6 weeks.
Or the Rise of Skywalker where they're still shooting it.
Oh, yeah. That was way beyond original contract.
Well, could those 2 weeks of shooting, was that 2 weeks of Ezra, or was it just reshoots where it could have been stunts or stand-ins?
That's
he
what
was
I'm saying. It
there.
sounds
Yeah,
like
he was
pickup
there. But
shoots.
from what we heard,
Yeah.
that was when they were giving themselves options with Ben Affleck.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They did
was
say
all
in the
said, too.
article during those
Yeah.
2 weeks, it was the 2 weeks that Ezra had in between arrests or something like that. Like literally, no, literally,
That
that's
was
what it
literally what they said. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
when I said that earlier, that's what I was talking about. Exactly
is
that.
Yeah,
They've
like
already-
he got arrested, he got out on bond, and then they did the pickup shoots in those couple of weeks in between.
the pickup shoots were already done. This is the second time he had to go back. But that's, I mean,
Yeah,
that,
so
those
if
were
they
done a long
reshoot
time
again,
ago.
it'll be the third reshoot.
Yeah.
Well,
Yes.
then okay, well, then that's different. I'm
Yeah,
sorry. I
see,
didn't
that's
know
the
that
thing. They
part, yeah.
technically shot this movie back, I think it was it 2018 or 19 now. I can't
It
even
was
fucking remember.
it was basically in the can.
No, it had to be 19. No, it was 20 when they
20.
shot it.
It was
You're
20.
right. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm ahead of myself here. Because, yeah, they announced it back in late 19, and that's because that spawned Feige to get the Spider-Man thing rolling. Okay, so Nick, you haven't had a chance to chime in here.
All good. This movie is 100 sorts of fucked. Right off the bat. That's where I'm gonna lead with. This is the embodiment of a lose-lose situation. Every time you think you've seen it all, yeah, it gets crazier. And this one may be the iceberg as far as like a production being that for a movie. The fact that they reshot something, you got a guy who's the gift that keeps on giving as far as getting into trouble for a high budget movie, for a movie that's supposed to bring back a lot of nostalgia, and you got all this stuff laying on the line. But then this is also like something made by a previous regime. So Zaslav is now paying a little bit for the sins of the father in that regard. And that is I do feel for him in that regard. He is basically being punished no matter what for what Hamada and crew did with this thing. Because Hamada and crew knew what Ezra was doing as far back as early 2020, and they chose not to do this, and they chose to ignore it, pretend like it'll just blow over. And you know what?
Pronouns.
Yes, because pronouns, because my alphabet community. And I would like to say you get what you deserve, but not to Zaslav, because he's not the one who was involved in this crap at the time. But if Hamada was, I would gladly not take those words back within a heartbeat. But sadly, he's not the one being punished for it. Hamada is. So this movie, like Vine says, if they're going to release it as is, ideally, yes, to minimize the promotion around it, because then that way the most diehard of the diehards will show up no matter what around the world. That's just objective fact in my opinion. I truly believe, because for those people, they know this movie, they don't need to be shown a trailer to go. They just know, okay, this is concerning the universe, where it's going forward. I'm gonna see it right off the bat, and then they could move on. However, that's gonna be one really awkward red carpet premiere. Like, hey, where's the star of our movie? Oh yeah, so that's a really awkward red carpet showing. I personally think, and this is going to be a mixed take, but I truly believe they should just, if they're going to do all these like shots where they're going to modify Ezra's face, whatever they're going to do, they might as well just reshoot it. I know that's a lot of work, and I know it's a lot more money, but I truly believe the crowd will come out that much stronger if they do. But that's what I would like to see versus reality, theory versus reality come into play. And I straight up would. If Zaslav said, you know what, we're going to redo this movie, I'd strip like, all right, bro, where can I send you $10 for a ticket plus another 20 right out the bat as a generous tip for saying, you know what?
Order.
Yeah, I'm just, hey, I'm
Prepaying
trying
for it, yeah.
I'm trying to play ball.
Like
If
a
he's playing ball, I'll
crowdfunding
be
the
glad to
reshoots.
put my money. I'll put my money where my mouth is. I'll put my money where my mouth
Hey,
is. I'd
you
be
know,
glad
it's
to do
funny
that.
you say that, Nick, because that's the thing is like, and that's kind of the person that I was talking to was kind of getting at is like, that's like, the nuclear option is obviously just canceling the film altogether, which I'm not even sure they can. And that's
I don't think they
what
can
Culture and Valiant and I have all kind of been
They're past that.
trying to figure out, because we
way
don't know if it's because of some completion deal, some licensing deal, something with Michael Keaton. He may have a back end deal that they can't get out of. There could be something like that that's keeping this film into play, because otherwise at this point, right, the only option you have as far as to lose the least amount of money is to just bank it. Just throw it, toss it in a vault, say, it would have been nice to see the whole Michael Keaton thing. Eventually, 5 years from now, throw all the Michael Keaton scenes on a bonus feature somewhere just so everybody gets a chance to see them. But outside of that, at this point, that's kind of where this guy was saying is like, it's not impossible, right? The thing is, yes, it's difficult because he's in every single scene. But like this guy was reminding me is that most of this stuff is shot in front of green screens regardless. Sometimes the actors aren't even in the same room, right? So a lot of this stuff is pieced together anyway, and that's what he was trying to say to me too. So it wouldn't really be a huge feat to reshoot all of his stuff and reinsert him in. The problem would be if there's any interactions, if they want to do any story changes, you'll have to get the other actors involved. So that's kind of the
Henry
the
Allen,
reality of
Henry
that.
Allen, Eobard Thawne, because I know the Flash.
I don't think there's that much.
Obviously, Iris West. I got like 200 Flash.
Because 90% of the time when he's
the
the Flash doing his Flash thing, that's all CGI shit anyway.
Yeah,
so that's easy to fix.
I want to mention, Tom, just briefly, only because I have a story. Again, I'm coming out tomorrow about this. I know there's a lot of talk. Is this film, is it really going to go forward? Are they going to fix it? And VR, he put a good thought out there. They're at a point where they got to decide, like, you got to commit to putting this out. I'm just going to say, I guess I'll say this to the ME After Dark crowd here. I believe they have committed to doing more reshoots on this film. I have a full report tomorrow about that, but more details. This film is coming out, right? I do not believe they're taking Ezra out. I think they're going to add some more elements to this. And I think they passed that threshold. Quite honestly, they would have canceled this with Batgirl if it was a tax thing.
Right. That's what I was thinking too.
Forward. Yeah.
Like if they were able to cancel this, I would have thought it would have been right along with Batgirl. That's my point too, and that's where Valiant and Culture and I and even Script Doctor had brought up some interesting points too of things that could be keeping the film into play. But regardless, it doesn't matter what it is. Let's just go under the assumption that that's the case. Well, then you're left with those other three options if the fourth option isn't on the table of just nuking this bitch.
I got a question about that Batgirl being canceled for tax purposes, quote unquote. Now, they're not allowed to use any of the footage. They can't release it and make money on it.
Yes.
You got to
so can they take
total dive?
Okay. Yep. Can they take that script and completely reshoot it and release that?
Not the same script.
Not the same script.
Okay.
No.
That falls under the same. They can't make money on it. So it's not just the finished film.
They can't even play this for free. Like, they can't even put this on YouTube for free.
Yeah. That's why that Fantastic Four movie had to quote unquote leak out.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a good leak. Yeah, it's definitely a good leak.
Yeah, and that's the thing. There's some people talking about, and I wouldn't be surprised if somebody within Warner Brothers or at one of the effects houses or even in editing or something like that, this movie, one of these, if not both of these movies, could wind up on streaming or on Pirate Bay or whatever before the end of the year. Right? Like, I would not be surprised in the least. So
hey, I'll watch Batgirl for free. Yeah.
Right. Well, and that's
I want
just
to see it.
Well, that's just it. Like,
I've never wanted to see a movie so badly.
I was going to say, I think she'll surely admit, like most people, like now they actually want to see it because somebody told them they can't. Right? Before that, they could give a fuck. They wouldn't go out of their way to see it, but now that somebody says you can't watch it, well, now I want to watch it. What the fuck? You can't tell me what I can and can't do.
Amazing.
You're hiding something from me. That's what it is.
No, just bullshit for real.
Just give me the Michael Keaton scenes, please.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, they might be able to work something out if they throw them in kind of some kind of special feature, because then it wouldn't be looked as them actually making the money, and as long as it's not the entire movie.
It was less than 10 minutes of Keaton time, right? Reportedly in this film, it's less than 10 minutes of Keaton in the film anyway. So you can put there, like you said, bonus features.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
could they donate the money to charity?
Why not? COVID research.
Here's the thing I was saying, though, is you already had a big, huge thing when, with people wanting Amber to be recast, and they had the petition.org. I wonder if there's a petition.org already started for Ezra. I'm sure there is. But here's the other point I was going to bring up, because here's the thing we saw in the last week is with the canceling of Batgirl, I've been jokingly saying, Zaslav must have been playing some 4D chess that nobody saw, because now he just made it easy for himself to get rid of Ezra Miller. Because before that, the big point of contention was, well, regardless of what he's done, if he fires him, does that mean he's going to get attacked by the LGBTQ community and so But now I think that option's off. You know, he doesn't have to worry about
Well,
that.
diverse
problem
people hate Zazef right now for some reason.
That's what I'm saying. So him
The diverse
firing
army.
Ezra would probably make it better. But otherwise, I think he doesn't give a fuck.
No, he doesn't care. And I found it, honestly, I found it personally offensive that this Hollywood Reporter article went out of their way to refer to Ezra by its preferred pronouns, because it's like, okay, this guy is a criminal piece of trash. That is beyond any point of negotiation or debate right now. We are past that. It's like looking at CNN, watching them go out of their way to give respect to leaders of Al Qaeda in that same kind of regard. Like, what the hell are we doing here? You know, just call it Ezra or whatever. But like, they have the whole first paragraph of they were arrested.
Can you imagine reporting
like,
something
It's
to the
media
police?
VR, you know.
If this keeps on going, can you imagine trying to report something to police? Like, what did they look like? Like, don't exactly want to say.
Yeah, exactly.
Were they a
I
man
don't
or a
want to
woman?
misgender my assailant.
I don't want to misgender them.
Well, no,
That's,
the way it
that's
was
what
go.
we're doing. Like, all these articles, as they're reporting about Ezra being, let's call it what it is, a child molester, okay, is somebody that has spent their lives grooming kids at this point, a complete wacko going out of their way to do these ridiculous, hilariously stupid pronoun things. I just, it's appalling to me, and piss on the Hollywood Reporter for doing this. Sorry.
I
Well,
think it's
this,
like a
is, this
standard
is how the
thing, yeah.
conversation with the police would go. You would be talking to the police officer and you'd say, well, yeah. And then they came up and they punched me. And then the cop says, okay, well, what did they look like? Well, they had dark hair. Okay. What did the other one look like? What other one? Well, you said they, so how many
Yes!
people were there?
Yeah,
Was there-
Well, there was
exactly.
just one. Yeah.
Oh, no, it was
No,
just,
it's like,
it
who's
was
on
just
first?
one mentally
It would
handicapped
be.
person.
That's what I say. It would be like, it'd be like trying to report something and it turned into a who's on first fucking skit.
Exactly. Where's Laurel and Hardy when you
Well,
need
actually,
them? Abbott and
we should
Costello?
actually do that and create a skit around that and market it, because I
That'd
guarantee
be perfect for like Thursday night or Monday.
Indeed.
Yeah. Oh Lord, I know we only got Valiant for a short time here, but there's a little bit more to this. Obviously, things are not completely set in stone over there at Warner Brothers. That's another thing that I keep reminding people. Zaz is just getting started. He's only been there 4 months.
Yeah, exactly.
And then Variety also put out this story: inside the confusing state of DC, from huge Joker 2 paydays to the search for their Kevin Feige. Well, that's because I told you the first thing before he even had come in the door. He called and said, get Joker 2 going now.
Hit up Todd Phillips. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know why? That's a movie that's right up Zaz's alley, because it cost $50 million to make, and it cranked out $1 billion in global returns at the box office. I mean, not net, obviously, back to Warner, but still. I mean, if they got $500 million back on that film, and they had an ROI at that point of 1,000%, for God's sake. Yeah, they're like, freaking yeah, let's make another one. If we spend this time 75, 80 million on it, and we only make 500 million, they're good.
Yep.
Oh, they
Well,
good
that's
with
just it. I
Gaga.
knew they were going to pay, because that's the thing is, what's his face was playing hard to get, Joaquin, and I knew
think
that
that's 20 million. Yeah.
That's the first thing Zaz said. Give him whatever the fuck he wants.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
get him in here.
It's going. Lady Gaga's going to promote this internationally. You got Lady Gaga. This film's going
That's a big deal.
Yeah.
big deal.
Well, don't give Kevin Feige any ideas, because then Thor 5 will be a musical.
Musical.
With
Actually,
a $400
you know what?
million
Fucking honestly,
$400 million
Thor:
budget.
Love and Thunder would have been better if it was.
Let him do it. Let him do it.
I'm not shitting you. It would have been Xanadu all over again.
Well,
hope
the
they
only
do it.
reason, the only way it could have been better, and the only reason I would have approved a $350 million for a Thor musical would have been if they'd had Stone and Parker in there to write the music.
That would have been
He
brilliant.
said, don't give Feige any ideas. Yeah.
Thor, bigger, longer, uncut.
Yeah, right. Don't get Feige idea. Well, that would have been
Let's
actual
throw in
blunder,
there.
love and blunder. That would have been
Yep,
actual love
yeah.
and blunder.
Yes,
That
sir.
would
That'll
have
be
new meaning
Disney's
then.
next Broadway musical.
Oh God.
If
I
Zaslav
love
really
Thor,
wants
man.
to play it smart, I
They're
mean,
making more
Joker
money on those
2,
Broadway musicals than any of the Marvel films right now.
Well, wasn't
Y'all
it
understand that?
you six that was asking me, or who was asking me if they're going to actually probably do that Rogers the musical thing they had in the Marvel things?
Rogers.
Yeah, they did
Steve Rogers?
the musical,
Yeah.
like in making fun of
When he did the
No.
vaudeville
making
thing
fun of
in-
Hamilton.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's making fun of Hamilton, but it's about the Avengers and Steve Captain America.
Oh, I thought you meant like the stuff he did in the first.
No, she
Captain
wasn't the one
America
who asked
movie.
me. Then somebody else did. It might have been one of the girls on Toxic Feminine. Someone was talking about it because I'm like, I don't know if they will, but they probably will. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't do something like that at Disneyland parks.
You know, you can tape a banana to a wall and call it art, and you can throw shit on a stage on Broadway, and people will come to see it just because it's Broadway.
You're not necessarily wrong there.
Some other
Yeah.
people might think if you tape a banana to the wall, that's more than art. That's a good night if you're lonely. I guess.
Real quick,
but-
Tom. I just want to just because I got this message that came in, only because I've worked with these different people on different stories I've done. I think they're listening. You know, shout out to y'all watching ME After Dark. The Ezra Miller thing. They're emphatically saying that WBD is giving Ezra a chance to clean
Yeah.
themselves up, to rehabilitate. It was just what THR just said.
Yeah.
Option one, clean up. You're part of the press. If not, we're putting your film out, but you're not gonna be a part of it. You're done. So they're just double down.
That's kind of what I would heard too. That was still an option on the table, but that was before that expose, right? Like that was. So that's what I feel like. Is a lot of this news is like 2 months behind, or at least a month behind everything that I've been
We'll
hearing,
see.
and even stuff
Yeah.
that Mikey had heard and stuff like that.
We'll see with that.
But like things are ramping up now. It's like it's gone from
It's
one
very
point
fluid
to
right
another.
now.
Yeah.
In all aspects, gender, information, everything. Everything's fluid right now.
Did you have a couple more minutes here, Valiant?
Let's see what time is it? Yeah, I mean, like maybe about 5 minutes.
All right, I'm gonna grab some super chats here before you take off. Goddess of Whim says JD straight white, no proof. Can him, Ezra, they them with arrest, borderline kidnapping, protect. Well, you got to remember also different group of people are involved at that time, but I wouldn't count Zaslav out yet to try and to do something drastic. Like that's the thing, and I think that's the point of this whole article, and that's one thing I was going to bring up was I think they're well prepared now after the Batgirl incident. And this is what I tried telling people a while back about Zaslav is like, don't be surprised if he does shit like this. It's going to shake up the industry too.
And Tom,
So.
with the Batgirl thing, they said tax write-off is I think we know this. That's the tax write-off was an excuse for Batgirl. It's just because they didn't think people would watch that woke shit. That's why Batgirl was canceled.
That's a big part of it. Yes, big part of it too is
big
that
part.
Zaz
can't
has
say
a
that.
goal.
Yeah.
He's trying to save the company's $3 billion,
Well,
and that did a lot to help.
I think the look, this is a little bit different because of what they did when they spun this off from AT&T with that reverse Morris trust. The properties that came over with it, that is a very, very, very hyper complex legal maneuver they pulled off with that. Only big companies like AT&T can do that, and it's because of the tax savings. The specific reason you use the reverse Morris trust in this kind of case is because it affords the ultimate spun off company a very big tax advantage, and that's what they're taking advantage of. That's why there is this mid-August deadline, is because it falls within so many months, like 3 to 4 months
Right.
post spinoff. So it's not just like a dodge to say that this is for tax reasons. Under normal circumstances, if this were Disney or Paramount, we could say that, okay, they are going to get a tax write-off, but they can use this as an excuse. But with what just happened with Warner Brothers Discovery, it's a different animal entirely. And Zaslav has got to take advantage of everything he has at his fingertips, because his big mission, obviously, trying to find $3 billion in synergies with this merger, number one, and they still have a big debt load to whittle down over the next few years. The reason why Zaslav was brought in to do this is because he's probably one of the few people that can run a massive, film and TV kind of empire with his experience, and B, has the business acumen and the discipline to actually do it in the most efficient and economical manner.
I think B is the bigger reason. But yeah, no, you're 100% right. I agree with you, and especially on the tax stuff, I can't argue that because I wouldn't know where to start. But but no, and I think that's what the business is learning real quick. And here's the ironic thing about it, or the funny thing about it, or however you want to put it. Nobody was making this big of a stink when the same shit happened when Disney bought Fox. This is nothing new. This is not abnormal. But they are trying, and this is kind of something else I heard. They are desperately trying. Now, the Rees are out. They are pissed because they are realizing that their shit is getting shit canned now. And these are the type of people who don't like that when you don't give them a good reason or they don't understand economics, right?
That's just it. Yeah.
Yeah. See, these are the type of people like that chick off of Superman, that Superman and Lois show, who's like, I knew I was a good writer. I don't know why they fucking canned me. It couldn't be because I'm a bad writer. You know, and it's like, well, you're the only one who got canned. They're bitching about it anyway.
I mean, masturbating to your own talents is not helpful.
Exactly, and that's the thing is exactly all these people masturbate to their own talent. Thank you, Valiant. So they are right now. They are in shock and awe. They have they could not believe in a million years that their protected and insulated project just got shit canned because guess what? It ain't gonna make no fucking money.
No, and a lot of these people still think that everything they're doing is bold and new and, brave and all this kind of stuff. And after the last several years of the dog squeeze that has come out of Hollywood, you know what? All this stuff is old hat. Nobody cares anymore that you're going to put a non-binary transgender person of multiple color or whatever I don't know anymore what these descriptors even entail. I'm so totally lost.
Sounds like Ironheart.
Yeah, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. It's not new anymore. Everybody's doing it, and it's just become a joke. I hate to say it. It's become a joke that when you see this come out, like I posted a picture, like we had the preview or this advertising piece on Twitter for She-Hulk. And the chick that's playing She-Hulk is in a shirt that said, whatever, trans futures matter or something like this. I'm like, my God.
Future.
I'm like, come on. This is so.
That's what a superhero show.
You got your woke points for today.
Jeez.
Yeah, I'm like, we're so over this. It's just become a punchline.
But yeah, as I was saying, like, this is not abnormal. When a company comes in and takes over, because like when Disney took over Fox, they only released like 3 to 5 of those movies that they had finished, and they had a bunch of them that were finished, right? But they decided to just
release
the
ones they had to in the theaters, and they spent almost nothing to market,
and almost nothing else after that. Like they canceled everything else. The shit canned, and you didn't see you seen some but not like to this extent.
Yeah, right? No. Well, that's
and that's what I was saying, and that was my original point I was getting to is they are trying to find anything they can to make Zaslav look bad. You want to know why? Because this motherfucker is as squeaky clean as they fucking come. Can't find nothing on the guy. He's a family guy. He's damn near conservative in every way. That's another thing they've keyed in on. They've been calling him an istaphobe. They've been calling him a bigot. They've been calling him a transphobe. They've been calling him every fucking name in the book in the last few days that they can to try and besmirch this guy in any way, shape, or form because the Rees are out there. Now they can't masturbate to their own...
What's amazing... Like VR said, Disney never would have done that with like a Batgirl type project. They never would have canceled something like that. And like Zaz is like set a marker for Hollywood. Like he doesn't give a fuck.
Disney also isn't in the tax position that Warner's in, and that was my point. And that's the difference right now. Is that
is the big difference there.
Chapek is dealing with leftovers from Iger still, and he's going to be dealing with these leftovers probably for the next at least couple of
Chapek can't come in and start axing projects like Zaslav is. That he doesn't have that option. Yeah,
totally different fiscal positions that these two guys.
And that's where people when they ask like, well, if Chapek's doing this and that, then why is this phase 5 and 6 the way it is? It's because he's not technically in control of that. I mean, he can do certain things. He can influence certain things. I mean, if he gets the board's approval, he could probably kill a project. But that's just it. Like I just said, he'd have to actually go through the board probably to actually get the okay and all these other shits. And it would be a huge fucking fiasco compared to where Zaslav, with this tax incentive thing that they're doing right now and going forward, with like we've also heard that almost pretty much every DC project that was up and going is done. It's been completely shut down. They're trying to pretend that those few other projects are still going. They're not going anywhere. We're not getting a Black Canary.
Not all that shit. Man.
No.
Well, no.
The only
I think
one
it's
that we're getting is Blue Beetle, and that's because that sumbitch either just finished or it's almost finished, and it has very little to do with any of the other shit.
It has a cut already that
Yeah.
they can fix
And
up.
Blue Beetle also stars a very popular actor from an incredibly popular TV show.
The Cobra Kai.
Cobra
We're not
Kai.
gonna can the
Yeah.
Cobra Kai guy.
No,
That would be the
no.
most
No,
retarded
that'll-
move they could do.
They
That
know
Miguel,
And
they
I
can
think it's
make
under
money
100
on
million VR too. I think Blue Beetle's
Yeah.
under 100 million too. So.
It probably is, but I mean, look, I mean, this is the whole difference between Disney and between Warner. I'll close out with this because I do have to run. I've got another show I got to stop by. I promised some guys yesterday over at Sci-Fi TV, but look, I'll say this. This is the thing, and I mentioned this on Twitter earlier. Understand, Marvel, Lucasfilm, Pixar. You can take all three. If Lucasfilm even had anything in pre-production in the last 6 years, which they don't, because they won't let them make a movie because, well, they can't because it all sucks. But if you had in the year 2019, let's take Endgame, take the net income to Disney from Endgame, which was about $1.4 billion from that movie. Then you had Rise of Palpatine, which brought in about $500 million, which might have just covered the cost for that film with all the reshoots. Like Tom said, they're still reshooting. And I don't remember if there was a Pixar movie that year too, but throw in Toy Story 4, which might have been the year before.
Yeah,
Take in all the net revenues to Disney for those three films from those three studios, right? Those net revenues barely equal a single quarter of the advertising revenue from Disney's linear content, which is mostly ESPN and ABC Sports.
Yeah, you were pointing that out last night.
Every single quarter.
Yeah.
Every quarter. So when Bob Chapek is buried in the leaves and he's working and he's bringing in revenues, it's the parks and it's live sports. Marvel Studios, Pixar, Lucasfilm they're barely a bump on a bullfrog's ass compared to the other stuff I mentioned. So he's not going to sit there and slam the brakes on what he's doing to go fix whatever Kevin Feige's screwing up tomorrow.
Right.
I know it's going to come down the pike. It's going to happen eventually. And I think we're going to get more information in the next 2 or 3 weeks when D23 launches.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be watching that. So
it'll be interesting to see. And then Pilgrim Media says patchouli oil and hippies will gag a maggot. Well, I don't mind the smell of patchouli. It's the smell of patchouli and body odor.
I love the smell of patchouli. I have tons of candles and incense that are patchouli.
They're not people, they're hippies.
They're all hippies. But I do have to go. Thanks for having me on, guys.
I'll be watching you.
IVR.
See y'all
care,
later.
Valiant.
Take care.
All right, let's get to the rest of these here. We've got a member chat from Muslim Uncle, who's been a member for 6 months at the minimum effort puppy level. Thank you so much for that. We appreciate that. Then Smith Self says, no matter how bad the situation is, you can always make it worse. Chris Hadfield, astronaut. Exactly, this is true. That's the risk they run of pushing this movie out more, though, right? I mean, that's what Spike Doctor had said too, time and time
It's
again.
starting to get to normies now. Remember when I said a few weeks ago, like people were clueless about this? Now people at my employer, which I have described as a super progressive leftist echo chamber, they're finally starting to hear about all this stuff, and they're like, "Whoa, what's all this?" And some of them are like, "Hey, what's going on here?" I'm like, I told you guys about this weeks ago. Like, this is all happening. Like, he's Ezra's nuts. He's crazy, and should have been canned a long time ago. And now people are finally starting to get it. So now that the normies are seeing it, bro, this is going to add insult to injury. Because once again, normies don't see movies the way they do. Like when, for example, a Spider-Man movie come out, it could be like 20 Spider-Man movies. For you and I, like, okay, well, what's going on with this type of story? They're just say, oh, hey, look, Spider-Man, let's go see it. That's the difference. Yeah. They don't see it the way you and I do. So they just see it as a Spider-Man movie. They're not looking at logistics and the story, who's a character villain. They're there to enjoy that 2 hours and then move on. And that's what Nords do. That's fine. They have their place in the world. But now that they're hearing this news, that's going to kill enthusiasm. It's going to kill
with Zaslav. He's banking on that. Enough people don't know who Ezra Miller is still.
And that's where I
under the radar.
Yeah, and that's where I'd heard he'd gotten so upset now that this was starting to hit the main trades.
Yeah.
in the main news. Like, you're right with that, both y'all. So yeah, and then Professor Gray says, given all the changes, cancellation that happened, is anything Flash was setting up actually still happening? Can they start fresh? Technically, no. Like, Script Doctor had coined this film Flash Pointless, and I like that because it's true. Because by the end of the movie, it's kind of got to just put everything kind of back to where it sort of kind of was before, in a way. I mean, again, I've reiterated before that we're consistently kind of hearing that and Zaslav did confirm kind of in a way when he said we are resetting DC. Yeah. That's not taking it back to the Snyderverse. That doesn't mean they're getting away from that timeline necessarily, but they're going to revamp this in a way that hopefully will make everybody happy in the end, I think is the point.
I think it's possible.
Clear, concise vision.
Both the Snyder fans and the average fans,
Yeah, you have the big heroes get their place first because we want those big heroes first. Like, and then we could go off into our own corners, eventually have our green arrows and our questions. Like,
let's just get Superman.
Oh my God! Right?
Zaslav knows that.
Let's just do
want a Superman movie so
I think this is Zaslav's thoughts process going off that earnings call. He's like, clearly we got to get Batman in order first because he's our big ticket, then Superman, and then Wonder Woman.
The thing is, they can make Superman an equally as big ticket if they committed to him the way they commit to Batman.
And I think he's handling him in that order. We've seen now we've got Ben Affleck coming in to replace Michael Keaton in Aquaman. We've heard that the option's open to keep Ben Affleck in play. If Ben's ready to play ball again, I'm sure they're going to be more than willing to let him suit up for the next 10 years.
Is. Well, you're going to see Cavill in October. Okay, I keep hearing he's in the post.
You've said that, and I'm not going to make a bet with you because I don't know.
Another
I've not
pizza,
heard anything, but
another pizza.
I don't want to make a bet on that.
That's a fun bet, man.
Because that's the thing. The only thing I can say on that is I've consistently heard, yes, they want him back, but if they can't have him back, they're prepared to move forward with somebody else. But yeah,
I can't wait.
You could be right on that. I hope you are for the fans' sake. And I think he deserves a shot at an actual Superman film. Nikki D says, did you guys hear rumors of Marvel's being turned into a musical recently? Sorry. If so, what are your thoughts? Well, there we go. If that's the truth, and that's them reacting to Joker, and that would be glorious. That would be fucking glorious. Have you guys seen what's her face's fucking musical movie, the Bollywood movie? What the hell's her name? Miss
Brie Larson.
Brie Larson, yeah. What the hell's the name of that movie?
Super Terribleness.
Yeah, something like that. You can literally get it at the dollar bin, in the dollar bin at the dollar store.
She made a Bollywood movie?
Yeah, she made this musical.
It wasn't Unicorn Store. What was it?
Yeah, Unicorn Store. Or Basmati Blues. Unicorn Store is just as bad, but Basmati Blues is the one I was thinking of.
She was just Scott Pilgrim, and she was singing in there too. So,
well, she actually in Scott Pilgrim, she has pipes, dude.
Yeah. Do the music.
You sure that was actually her singing, though?
Yes.
That's true. I mean, I don't know.
It was.
All right.
Okay, yeah. I'll take your word for it.
I'll take your word for it on that one. But no, Nikki D, I have not heard that, but if that's true, then yeah, they're reacting to Joker probably. Nightwish fan says, high-low on Flash getting canned.
I say low.
Yeah, I'm going to head with low because there's something keeping this fucking movie in play. Because I feel like if Zaslav could have just gotten rid of this problem, he would have.
Oh, yeah.
He's not the kind of guy to dick around. Like, he's a fuck around and find out kind of guy. Like, that's why there's something.
That's Batgirl.
Yeah, exactly. That's Batgirl.
I'm just saying, there's no fucking around.
Oh shit. I'm gonna go with low. What about you, Six?
I don't understand if you had to make a choice between the two, Batgirl and Flash. How bad did that movie have to be to get rid of Batgirl?
It's batting time.
I mean, I would bet a lot of money that we're never going to see Ezra Miller's Flash movie.
So you're going to go on the high end, okay?
I'm gonna go high. I think that, and I said this months ago when he first started fucking up. I said they're gonna ship him off to rehab. They're gonna send him on an apology tour, and they're going to wait several months, and then we're going to see the Flash, and everything will be fine.
Yeah.
Well, and then he just kept on fucking up and kept on fucking up, and now I don't see how. And I'm not saying that what he has done is unforgivable. I think everybody has a path to redemption, but I don't want to. This movie should not go forward. I want to see the Flash with somebody else playing the Flash. I mean, he's got another movie that he's going to start filming.
Oh.
Why did I start that sentence? I sent you a link, like, I don't even know when. It was a while ago, but he's got some other movie that he's working on.
I'm with you, Six. I would like to be flashed by anybody else other than EZRA Miller.
I feel like the whole franchise right now, the whole Flash thing is tainted, and
She
barely
said
even a
so.
franchise. The first Flash movie is going to be remembered as a reboot movie. That's an embarrassment. Even even if you take out the whole EZRA Miller debacle out of the equation, just pretend all that didn't happen. It's such a disrespectful thing for Barry Allen fans that the first movie has to be with Barry Allen basically being a supporting character to the Bruce Waynes of the world, when Barry Allen should be equal to Bruce Wayne from an intellectual level since he's a CSI. But no, we're just going to throw in Batman's, and we're going to make this, and we're going to take the most over-adapted story since The Dark Knight Returns. Because since 2011, we've obviously had the comic book version. Then we got the animated version. Then we got the TV version. Hell, we got the comic books doing like a weird convoluted sequel sort of whatever. I haven't read it, but it's some sequel of sorts. And now we got a movie. Just like, holy crap, they are this is the Dark Knight Returns is going to have competition now of over adapted story. Old Man Batman, Flashpoint. How convenient to fall back on these two tropes over and over again. Like, I want a Barry Allen movie where we see him being a CSI, visiting Henry Allen, maybe even running into a few crooks who eventually become the rogues, Heat Wave, Golden Glider, Captain Cold, bro. And I would love
it's like
that.
A Flash film.
An actual, right? Like an actual Flash movie with Barry being a CSI doing detective work. And maybe at best have a Bruce Wayne, Batman cameo. But hey, Bruce, I have this tough, thing I'm trying to follow up this case. Can you help me real quick? Great cameo. People will be like, that's a great cameo. And it still wouldn't overtake Barry Allen's flick. Done. See, I already just wrote it right there. There you go, guys.
We wrote it right there. Hire this man.
Culture, you're left.
Well, look, dude, I'm still hearing that there's that there may be no Ezra in this thing. Yeah. I think this is going to be one of those films where I'm going, we're going to see it. We're just not going to see the people we think we're going to see in it. I think we're going to see it. But just so Six can, rest easy tonight. Batgirl's going to leak online in the next year, so you'll be good.
Oh, yeah. Watch party with Six.
I was going to say, that's funny because there's probably more of a chance that these movies get leaked online than they actually get released. At least The Flash get released in theaters maybe at this point. I'll go with the low on it getting canned unless they just decide to can it and not reshoot it. But the high on chances they will reshoot it and get this movie out because they have to.
How high are you?
That's my final on that. What was that?
I was cheating. Go ahead.
I know I'm hedging my bets on it, but it's kind of that's the best answer I can give right now. Glinzer says it appears Hollywood. I mean, my original answer was low, so it appears Hollywood is perceiving the pitfalls of putting a precedent on preferential treatment instead of profit. Hope you like alliteration. Yes,
I love alliteration.
She does. Yes, this is usually true, but hopefully we're getting past this point, right? I think there's a few things that we've seen lately that have kind of signified that we're getting out of the woods in some of this nonsense. We're not out of the woods yet. We're starting to see some light through the trees. Willie Woodward has been a member for 13 months at the Congo level. Congo. Why do you think they haven't definitely said they weren't going with Miller? It seems like a really bad idea for business to keep him on. Kind of like I was saying to Sil earlier, it feels like a lot of these things are a few weeks, if not even a couple months out of date, because I was consistently beating that drum. Like, we don't know what they're doing yet, and they don't know what the fuck they're doing yet necessarily, and them constantly going, oh, they're committed to Ezra Miller in The Flash. They're still committed. They're still committed. That was a recycled quote from back in like the spring.
March.
Right? Yeah.
But aren't they maybe also keeping Ezra Miller on because he has non-typical pronouns and they can't cancel something that one of their woke kings is a part of?
I'm gonna
You
say
think
no.
that might have something?
I'm just gonna say no, only because again the Batgirl, because that had a non-binary person in there as well too, but not the lead character obviously. But I'm gonna say no, but I don't know, maybe everyone else thinks something different with that. I think it's literally they don't want to put no more money. He plays like 3 different versions of the same character in the film, and you have to do a whole different film if you reshoot anything. I feel, but I'll just say no.
Well, if you remember back before Zaslav took over, when those other people were still in charge, the thing that we kept hearing, and at least that I kept saying, was they can't not release The Flash because it sets everything else up. Well, these people were still laboring under the idea, and other people in the company, that these movies were still going to come out no matter what. They did not have an inkling or a clue that this was the extent Zaslav was going to go to. And then when I had gotten my other source that actually is somebody that I have said is, let's just say he's somebody who's close enough to Zaslav to kind of get an idea of some of his thoughts sometimes, or how the wind's blowing in the direction of, or where he views some of these things. But I've also been told that Zaslav keeps a lot of his company work and business work close to his chest. So unless you're somebody who's actually dealing with him, you're probably not going to talk. He's not going to talk to you about it. Right. But basically, like, yeah, when he came in, and this is what Culture and I had been saying for a while on the Tuesday tirades, and I'd been saying on the morning shows and other places like here, is that Zaslav is not going to fuck around. He's getting knee deep in this shit quicker than we anticipated. I think even. I can even speak for Culture on that.
Yeah.
Because we figured we'd start seeing moves maybe about 6 months in. Here we are 4 months into the game. But he was already making calls ahead of time, because I was hearing shit back in January, February.
Yeah, when he wasn't
came in the
supposed to be
door.
doing anything.
Yeah, and that's when we heard about the Joker move and all that kind of shit. So he's already kind of been keeping this running, this idea of what he's doing and what he wants to do. And he has stayed consistent throughout, from what we've heard back then, from what I had heard, from what we'd heard from the press up till now. It's been pretty consistent. But I think we're kind of on this news phase of, again, where it's going to take them a little bit more time maybe to catch up with some of the things that I and Mikey or Sil might hear, compared to what, Hollywood Reporter or Variety is going to necessarily run with. Unless they get some kind of exclusive, they're not going to necessarily run with like the rumor stuff like we do. So as far as them stating it out loud, it's getting to that point. Before this, they probably wouldn't. They probably won't for Amber. You'll just be like, oh, there's a different actress playing Mira all of a sudden, and they won't say shit. This, though, they're probably going to get to a point where you're right, Willie, they will have to, but it hasn't gotten to that point yet. He's been charged. He hasn't been convicted. He's under investigation. He hasn't been charged. There have been no actual sexual assault charges, let's say, necessarily. There's been some questionable shit. So at this point, it's still kind of at a surface level where it's a lot of shit, but none of it's actually necessarily bad enough that he can't do, like Six had said earlier, and I said is also a possibility as well, is he makes some kind of apology to her after going through some rehab and other shit like that. That's still probably an option that is possibly on the table, but as I've said, every time he ends up in the news again, that possibility goes down. And at some point, they're going to have to do a Kevin Spacey if it gets worse. Like if this child endangerment investigation goes south for him or something like that, then they may just have to go out and announce it like they did with Kevin Spacey. But that's one of the only times in history that I can think of where they've actually publicly went out and done this kind of a thing. Because they even quietly did it with the Tig Notaro thing. I mean, some people knew, but it wasn't like big, huge news press. And then there was another one or two where they had done similar things.
Were both cases convicted? Because I think it's going to take, because Ezra has a court case next month, for the burglary charge. Like, maybe if you get a conviction, that'll speed this up, So
Here's the thing. I don't think the burglary is enough to get him in trouble and getting booted off the Flash. It's the other shit they're worried about.
The grooming shit and all
the
that.
grooming accusations, the other stuff. That's the stuff that's gonna get more people's attention. And again, you also have to sit there and have the debate. Well, is it a mental thing or is it him just acting out? So then he needs to be evaluated and and all that kind of stuff. So I mean, and that's where I'm real careful on what I say about this because I try not to. And that's like I just said, he hasn't technically been charged or even, of a lot of these things yet. They're just rumors, and these people say there's only been a few people who've actually put their names to any of these accusations. So those are the only ones that I can really put any 100% credence to, because then that means there's other witnesses you could probably call out and ask. And we had also heard, similar things that he had been difficult or acting out in weird ways on the set. At which time I agree with people I think I even seen Saggy in the chat earlier. Like at that point they should have been doing something. If he's acting to that way that you have to call his people and let them know that people aren't feeling safe around him.
Yeah.
Then you definitely should be.
Well, it was the old regime, right? They passed this headache to Zazif. He was acting out before Zazif was even in the building, so it's just weird. Very weird.
I think it's a good sign that he's home with his mom.
Yeah, but see,
that helps everyone.
But that's a part of a conversation Tom and I had going back a ways now too, is that he essentially had pushed everybody that was close to him out to the outside. And that's at least, is what it would appear, or that's what you would normally see when somebody was in some, form of
or they just had turned away from him, one or the other.
That's possible too. But, Saggy's been doing her own coverage of this. She has a completely different spin. So if you're looking for a different type of coverage, that's what she does over there. So I don't know. I'm
more worried about the safety of others more so than I am him at this point.
Yeah,
same. I for even though that article that was on your video about them, even though they went anonymous, Ezra still knows who they all are. And that alone is still, granted, the retaliation won't be on a as much of a national scale. Ezra could still blurt their names out. He could still do that.
Well,
and still do. Would I put it past him? No, not at all. With how crazy he's gotten, I wouldn't.
That's one of those kind of things that's like when somebody remains anonymous. Yes, I understand being worried for retaliation, but at the same time, it's
I don't blame them.
If you put yourself out there and something happens to you, who the fuck else did it? You know what I mean? Really?
No, I get it. I get why they want to stay anonymous.
Yeah.
I get it. I don't blame them. I feel like Ezra is definitely the type who could take advantage of that, depending on how serious his situations are right now with everything he's wrapped up in.
I would just want him to get help. That's kind of where I'm at.
I think he's gonna need far more than just basic help.
Maybe.
I mean, man, remember Scott Weiland of what's that band, Stone Temple Pilots? Dude did rehab 30 times.
Yeah.
All I'm just saying is that has its lid on it too. That has a limit there. So he's gonna need far more than just that, and it's gonna need to be constant in his life.
Mental health is a challenge sometimes. Let's just
absolutely.
But he has put other people in danger. That's the thing. It'd be different if it was just he was doing it to himself.
Allegedly. So let's be,
Well, no, there's no real legend anymore about the fucking. We saw the video. That's the thing. The video and the chair are enough for me to say.
Those are literal receipts.
I hear you.
Those are receipts. So
I hear you.
And I mean, let's be real. I don't care what you can say about somebody who threw a chair at somebody. That chair would have hit you the right way. It'd kill you. And I know you're not arguing that point culture. But I'm just saying, yeah. I don't know how he didn't get a charge of attempted
celebrity privilege
homicide.
I think they dropped the charge or something.
They did. They did personally drop the charge, but in certain places,
a side order of $200,000.
Depending on, I think that was where was that in? Was that the one in Iceland or was that in
Iceland?
So I wouldn't. Okay.
So I think that because that was the one that the bar he frequented, I think they dropped the charges if that's the one that it happened at, if I remember right.
Yeah, they dropped all charges.
And they just wanted to get rid of him though. That was their whole thing.
Crazy.
Chris, you got that right. That's why this situation with this movie is very. I guess you could say unprecedented, because I've not recall. I definitely, at least not in my lifetime. If there's something before my time, we've never heard of a movie where it was high stakes in terms of a continuity, but also yet the lead star causing all sorts of trouble at the movie is finishing, and it's setting up the stakes for other. I think this may be the first type where we're dealing with a situation like this. Is not your normal everyday Hollywood problem, and there's a lot of problems in Hollywood. That's saying a lot. This may be the cream of the crop, as the Macho Man like to say. Yeah, I think it is unprecedented. If there's one out there that comes closer, let me know in the chat, because I think there's never been anything like this ever.
Chris F says, I think past development and possible Michael Keaton Brando Jack deal have inflated the Flash past the point of complete scrap. The Flash also has multiple demographics and possibilities possible for action figures if done right. Yeah, and Chris, this is kind of what Culture and Valiant and the rest of us have all kind of been getting at when we talk about this. What is keeping this film into play? It could be a licensing deal with action figures. It could even be some deal with McDonald's. It could be Michael Keaton. It could be,
and it's a 4-quadrant film. I mean, let's be honest, it really is. Right? It hits every demographic you want, if it's out there, right? Because you're going to get old and new fans alike, cross ages. Obviously, it has broad appeal. So, ultimately, I guess we'll just see.
Indeed. And then we have Mr. Tickle Trunk, who says, Ezra's been naughty. I say we believe all women.
You remember the show Courage the Cowardly Dog?
Yes, I do.
There's a character on an episode named Freaky Fred. He was really freaky, by the way. And he used to say, that was about the time it became a bit naughty. That's how he always said it. And it was a really freaky episode. And that's what I hear when I hear Mr. Tickletron. No, seriously. Anyone who knows Courage the Cowardly Dog, watch the Freaky Fred episode. That's what I see with that comment.
Yeah. And then Mecha J says, if they decide to release The Flash with Ezra, how much would you expect this movie to make at the box office? Not a lot.
I mean, it would need like 700 plus, but I don't know if it would hit that.
And that's where Zaz has to sit down and make that tough decision.
300 to 400 worldwide max. 300 to 400 worldwide, because there will be people who will see it no matter what. That's
You're not
like
wrong,
I won't
Nick.
be one of them, but there will be, and there is a demographic who will, just because they could say, hey, they want to see Michael Keaton, and they're gonna do that. So
I just think the stigma
of
and Ben Affleck's
Ezra is going to be an issue.
Ben Affleck too.
I think I make more than 4. I just think a film with Keaton and Affleck and a superhero, like I think you can make a little money. Not what they want though.
Yeah. And then did we have a member chat from Mr. Tickle Trunk 26 or did I miss that?
I sent you the screenshot.
Okay, that's what I thought. I couldn't find it, so thank you. Mr. Tickle Trunk says gifted 5 Midnight's Edge After Dark memberships to member chats: Lady Ombre, Leslie Collar, Siege Perilous, and the Peter Venkman fan site. Congratulations and thank you for that, Mr. Tickle Trunk. And speaking of member chats, we have Vertical Horizons, who's been a member for 2 months to maximum effort puppy level. I would say I fear for Ezra's mother, but she probably hits harder. I wouldn't go there, but
hey, he's good. It's good. He's with his mama.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll chill out a little bit.
Night of Snoke had a question for us earlier. He says, I think you guys said AT&T released the Snyder Cut for HBO Max as a way to get people to watch. Yes, this is true. So here's what I don't get. How come they don't release at least hidden cuts to their... he had more to this and I didn't see it. Probably their other movies.
I'll try to dig for it.
Well, it's way at the very, 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 very beginning.
Way back. Okay.
So sometimes he sends... No, he didn't send me the question in the background, too. Basically, well, first of all, there's a lot more licensing things you have to get involved in that. If there's unused footage, if there's actors that are in it, you have to get clearances. There's all kinds of stuff involved in that. So it's... Unless you pre-plan a movie with a director's cut or you work it all out, like, it's not the easiest thing to do in the world. So that's the best.
With the Snyder Cut, it was treated like it wasn't a new project, like on the books. So, no one got a new contract for that, right? So that was unprecedented in itself. So I think
they basically recalled everybody they had to through the reshoots.
Yeah, as per that contract, it was like you can come back under this, this situation. But yeah. Interesting.
I'm not trying to ignore anybody. Polly and 6.
What's wrong with Polly?
I don't even know what Polly said.
Polly's perfect. There's nothing wrong with that man.
Oh boy.
Here we go.
Got 6 endorsements, so he must be good. Yeah.
How about me, 6?
Hesitation.
Somebody made a comment earlier in chat about how hairy you are when you undo your pants. And
Wow.
I haven't been able to stop. Like, I'm a very
Wow.
visual person, and I can't get
You asked,
that.
buddy.
Well, he
This
is
got
quarter
personal
Sasquatch.
really
out of
quickly.
my- I mean, because like, look at your head and look at your face. And we all know that your chest has like an eagle pattern on it. So
Everything is
do.
well groomed.
I
6.
just
Got
wonder
more
about,
information than I
Well
thought.
groomed.
like, does it lead to a mountain? Is the eagle flying over a mountain?
How do you know this?
Wow.
Because I pay attention
Well,
when people.
when I get-
I am not
6.
looking at his hairy ass motherfucking chest. I don't care.
6. When I get to 10K,
I know. Oh, I'll
All
be
the
there.
moves. All the moves.
all the moves, baby.
Everybody's gonna be there.
Someone help me.
It's gonna be huge.
What's going on, Tom?
Lord.
Pull me in, man.
This has become derailed now officially by culture moves. Hashtag
We
culture
went
moves to 10K.
Big
After
hairy
after
moves.
dark. That's what he said. After dark.
That's right.
That's great. It starts with an earthquake, birds and snakes and aeroplanes. Lenny Bruce is not afraid.
Grand Admiral
hey,
Adam.
I got to deal with you singing later. Oh boy.
Oh
when
boy,
Filter
that's
gets to
right.
10K, he's
Why?
gonna.
What are you singing later?
Ah,
We got it's Thursday night throwdown, and I'm actually going to be singing.
it is. Yeah, he is. He's
Why
not. He's
wasn't I
telling the
called
truth.
and involved?
What now?
Fucking gilded.
Fuck
I never
you,
get involved with
Gilded.
nothing because of gilded.
What you eating, Tom?
You can, Tom.
I mean,
What are you
Sloppy
eating,
Joe,
Tom? What was-
Sloppy Joe, y'all.
Whoa!
Sloppy Joe,
I have not.
Sloppy Joe.
I have not had a sloppy Joe in so long. I'm like super jealous.
Dude, I'm gonna get a pizza puff going right before TNT. It's gonna be really good.
And the green beans.
I'm gonna have some
dinner.
watermelon.
Some Kool-Aid.
Kool-Aid, what
Oh,
kind?
Cherry. It's always cherry.
Cherry? You got cherry? I've always been cherry's good, but I've always leaned a little bit more towards grape. Like I was
I
like
put 2 packs.
2-pack. You're a 2-pack. Oh, you're a double packer. Love it.
Extra sugar.
No,
Yeah, you know.
There was this hot dog joint I used to live by. All they sold was hot dogs, tamales, and purple Kool-Aid. It was the greatest place ever.
That's
And I
deep.
would go, it was great. That's all they needed. Those 3. That was their menu. Those 3 items, and it was always busy.
Kool-Aid.
Okay, so
Willie says when you sing culture, he's going to
It's
throw
Six's fault.
his panties at you.
No,
That's
it's
more
Culture's
about
fault.
Willie than I
Yeah.
needed to know.
well,
Have
Willie.
you ever seen Willie with the shirt off?
Yes.
It's
Willie
like a
is
forest.
a scary motherfucker.
Like shoulder pads and all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The dude looks like he's wearing a sweater in the pool. Is what?
Let's
Six
put
is
it this
trying
way:
to say.
he cannot go in the forest during hunting season.
Oh boy. So wait, you guys, we were talking about interesting subjects. So, all right.
So if you like a
I got
hairy
question.
man,
I got a
Willie's your
question.
man.
I got a question. If you're going to the store and you're picking up hot dogs, do you buying Oscar Mayer wieners or Nathan's? What are you grabbing? What do you get?
Ballpark.
Vienna.
Ballpark. Wow. Third option. All right.
We spend an extra
Yeah,
50 cents.
I don't do Oscar Mayer.
No,
Is it
Nathan. Ballpark is good. Nathan's fine too, but Vienna beef.
Ballpark and Nathan.
there's-
Yeah.
Vienna beef has that when you take that first bite, you can hear the pop. That's what's up. That's what you get with
Okay.
the Vienna
So
experience.
you like
Yeah.
Vienna beef.
You know.
So
Oh,
nobody went
dude,
with the
I
two
pack it
options
with
I gave
Vienna.
them. Awesome.
Right.
I'm very selective on what hot dogs I eat because I read a thing a while back where they found human DNA in most hot dog brands.
How
Okay,
are you?
I'm getting a lot of
selective about your
humans
hot
in my
dogs
life.
when You eat Taco Bell every other meal.
Yeah.
But that's cardboard. That's not real
There's some
meat.
human in that Taco Bell, I'm sure.
Oh,
Oh
there
no,
probably
they wouldn't
is.
put real meat in there.
All right, let's try again. All right, let's. Okay,
That is true, Tom. That's
Okay.
not real meat.
so let's try this again. Hot dog or bratwurst?
Oh, that's a different question
I had
altogether.
a choice. Yeah, I go with the
Bratwurst.
Yeah,
Fuck
see,
yeah.
yeah,
You're
yeah,
asking the wrong guy here.
There you go. There's
Me in
some culture.
Chicago area, bratwurst.
I was going to
Yeah,
say,
there
me
you
and
go.
Nick,
Broad
me and Nick know
Chicago.
where that's at. Yeah.
Bro, right, Tom? Ooh. Actually, I
I'm
had a
just
brat
making
at Miller
sure.
Park once. That was
Old
good.
Just making
Wisconsin?
sure.
Oh yeah, Wisconsin brat, bro.
And I have
like 9 of those.
I have officially made myself starving. So
Well, we're going to be
I'm gonna
wrapping up
eat.
here anyway because there, was
Yeah,
there
it's
anything
like
else to
dinner
talk
time
about,
now.
Six?
Yeah.
Did you watch? Well, I sent you like 1,000 links.
Yeah, there was I don't know if there's much to that Stallone story.
Yeah, that one I put in the Preval.
Um,
6 man probably put it in the Preval.
what's the thing
They're trying
about
to
She-Hulk,
force-
the
I
new
sent
clip?
it to him a few hours ago.
Oh, Captain America was a virgin. We knew that.
Yeah,
Well-
that's not a shocker. He's out, but he's our version. He's our version.
Yeah, it's not the shocker. I mean, that's what got Aerosmith like kicked off of like the ride at Disney World for.
The what?
The reason that they took out the reason they changed the introduction at the what do they call that? G-Force Records over there. It's called the Rock and Roller Coaster at Disney World. They because apparently they made a claim that when Tyler was talking to the audience, he secretly gave the dude bro signal for the shocker, and so they had to change the intro for the attraction.
Is that like The Stranger?
No.
I was going to say, I'm not familiar with the shocker. What's the shocker?
Well,
I know what
do
the
you mind if-
stranger is.
Okay, I'm gonna put it in a very.
I would imagine if you called something the shocker, that would be where she thinks you're going
I'm
in
gonna
one
type
way
it
and
in
you
the
end up in
private.
the other way.
I'm gonna type it in the private chat.
Shocking, Tom. I think it's shocking. Is that?
Well, you're shocking her. That's where you get the woo.
Hey.
Here,
Then
I
you
put
get
it-
to either
I
get
put it in
yeah,
private
or
chat.
there you
I
go,
don't
or
give
you
a
get
shit.
wrong hole.
No, that's something different.
That's a different
Taco
experience.
Bell
That's how
does
you know
bring
what
the
kind of
nacho
woman you're with.
fries.
What the fuck? I'm not gonna say nothing.
I just want some nacho
Oh,
fries.
what's the
Taco Bell
difference?
still selling nacho fries. I'll get them tonight.
What's the difference
Or
between
TNT.
I think
jelly
Taco
or
Bell's some
jam?
movie tonight. Oh, jelly.
Okay, explain to me what the
Ellie.
hell the shocker is.
I just put it in the private chat.
Oh well, that
Was it
doesn't
like
explain.
a
that.
Oh,
sex
that's what
move?
that-
Is that like a sex
That's
move
skip
from
right
Urban
over it.
Oh,
Dictionary?
that one. Okay, I knew that
Yeah,
one.
Culture
Yeah.
just typed in the private chat, 2 in the pink, 1 in the stink, hand sign.
Yeah, that's. Yeah.
Oh,
Shouldn't
you
say
said
that out
stink.
loud.
See, I'm the teacher that takes the note that's being passed around and reads it to the rest of the class.
We appreciate Six
Dad,
for that. Yeah.
I've got your back.
Oh, shit. This is
I
you're
love the
not supposed to
names.
read the private chat, Six.
That's a lot of private shit.
Hey,
I
Bear.
said she could.
Kitty Bear already posted.
Let me erase what I
Retroactively.
said. Can't do it. Shit.
I need dinner.
It's time for Taco Bell. Yeah.
No,
All
that's
right,
not
let's get these
dinner.
guys fed. All right, Culture, you got anything coming up you want to plug?
I do the Friday pre-flights tomorrow. 6-minute dailies tomorrow. Apparently, Grant's just releasing videos left and right on my channel. I don't even know. I need to like pay attention, so I gotta. I'm recording videos. Grant's making videos, so we're gonna have a bunch of videos even while I'm gonna be in Vegas. I have Vegas coming up, but I don't really know if I'm
I
promoting
should
that.
just drive out there, but I don't have no money.
Who's going to take care of your animals?
I know. The cat will take care of the dog. The dog will take care of the cat.
There you go.
Can you
Problem
imagine your house
Yeah,
when you came home if you did that?
because I remember what it looked like last time.
What was I going to say? Oh, no. Yeah. And then what was the thing? Oh, no. Yeah. Okay. So 6-minute daily, Friday pre-flight. Probably going to be on the, what do you call that? The Midnight's Edge in the morning thing in the morning tomorrow. And I don't know,
I
man.
think
It just-
Cameron might even be there tomorrow. I'm trying to
oh,
remember.
really? I'd love to see Cameron again.
I
We've
think
got,
Shadow's coming back too, yeah.
well, hey, Chado was great today. I was listening to you guys. You guys are awesome. Now, you had too many Canadians on today, eh?
We like Canadians.
All right. What was the other thing? Oh, I'm doing the Thursday Night Throwdown. That's coming up next in a little bit. With Nick's going to be there.
I'm going to try and hop in there. I can't guarantee it though.
That'll be awesome. We get we'll have some balls tonight. If you show up, there'll be multiple balls.
Ball.
I don't know. I'm done promoting. I need to eat.
All right, Nick Weiser, you got anything coming
He's
up?
getting hangry.
Oh, well, like Culture said, TNT, Chrissy Mayer is going to be on with us. It's going to be huge. That's going to happen tomorrow night on the Comic Shop Talk. We're going to be covering our conclusion of part 3 of talking about the original Richard Rider Nova run titled The Man Called Nova. We're talking issues 10 through 12 and ASM number 171. So that's going to be fun. And I'm going to try to see if I can have a video on the new Beavis and Butthead episodes as well tomorrow. So hopefully time allows me to get a video. Dude, yes. Those first two are good.
Did you watch the newest ones, though?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a third?
Well, the episode 3 dropped last night, yeah.
Oh, I'm going to watch it. I'm going to go watch it, and I'm going to go review it real quick. Yes! All right.
And when I say 2 episodes, that's 2 of the little short vignettes within an episode.
Yes,
There's 3 complete episodes already been released, people.
Oh, yeah.
So keep that in mind. The new ones last night was the roof and the river.
Killer. I can't wait to watch it.
The roof one was hilarious.
Good.
Because I knew exactly where it was going to. It's like, yes, Beavis, we could throw this in the street and we could break it. But you know what'd be really cool? As if we did it from the roof.
Okay, good. Well, I had time to kill then between now and then.
I want to remake the movie Snakes on a Plane.
Oh, dude, I'm
sick of these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane.
Open the window.
I just want there to be more snakes. I don't want to change anything about the movie. I don't even want to change the casting.
And
I just
more
want to have more
motherfuckers.
snakes.
Do you want bigger snakes?
More snakes and longer.
Why didn't they do a sequel? That's my.
I don't know.
question.
How about like snakes on a yacht, right? Or snakes on a boat.
Snakes on 2 planes.
More snakes on a plane. Bigger snakes on a plane.
How the hell am I supposed to jump from one plane to the other?
That's the plot.
All these snakes everywhere. Motherfucker. Floral from Under a Rock is Canadian. Yes, you are, sir, and that's why we love you. Well, not
Shout out
the
to
only reason.
Canada.
Yes,
Shout out
we
to
do
Canada.
love you.
Nice people.
So, Sil, why don't you plug your channel? Anything you got coming up? I assume you have something coming up tomorrow. You said it sounded.
I know I've been plugging all night. I know I had to get that incept that tomorrow. Big story with the Flash. My channel, Sil Abdul Inc. I do a lot of streams with Mikey Sutton every Monday, specifically with Mikey. But I cover DCEU, some Marvel, some Star Wars. Cool stuff. But tomorrow I have a big report with the Flash. The Flash is not dead, yo. I know we want to put it to bed. Tom wanted to kill this last week. It looks like the Flash is going forward. I have a big report tomorrow about what they may be changing. So cool stuff tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we have our bet, but I've never been just so people know. I never
Scrub
actually
humping, it's all
said
good.
for sure that's what's going to happen. That's just a bet that you and I have, just to be clear. Because next thing you know, I'll have people running out there going, "Oh, but Tom Connor said it's canceled."
Yeah. Right.
Mr. Tickle Trunk is a filthy Canadian from Canada. Well, take a shower.
Shout out to Canada.
That's all you got to do. Then you'll just be a less filthy Canadian. See, that's how that works.
Shout out to Deleted Scenes in the chat. He dropped my channel.
Hey, Steven, how you
Appreciate
doing, buddy?
Deleted Scenes. Cool stuff.
And 6, anything you got coming up you want to plug?
I do. I don't have a date or a time for when this is going to happen, but my very good friend Courtney from It's Courtney's Fellowship of Audibles.
Yes,
What's up,
Yeah,
Courtney?
she's the
Yeah.
best. She and I
He's awesome.
have a show planned. It's probably going to be early morning Eastern time, like 6 or 7. But we're going to read some Bigfoot fan fiction in ASMR.
I'm like totally sold already. I don't know what she said.
Yeah.
Did you see that, Nick? That was my
early in the
favorite
morning.
Beavis and Butthead.
We'll be
bit.
there.
I
Shout out to
never
Courtney.
thought
Oh,
I'd
that,
get Beavis
yeah,
and Butthead
Tom,
in
I was
ASMR as much as I did now. What's she doing, buddy?
That second episode,
Bigfoot.
That was hilarious.
hilarious.
Hey, buddy, this is
I
kinda
heard
making me
something
hard.
else, but yeah. I know it said Bigfoot. Okay.
So Bigfoot fan fiction.
Yeah, you just go to fanfiction.net and I typed in Bigfoot, or maybe it was Yeti. I think it was Bigfoot, and then we're going to read that on her channel.
Awesome.
Hey, buddy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna whack it right now. Don't you do it. I will kick the bejesus out of you. I love that.
So
I fell out of
like-
my fucking chair laughing and crying at that shit.
Like,
And my buddy, who's like, you know, he doesn't know any of this YouTube stuff. He's like, yeah, it was funny, but I didn't really get it. It's like, dude, because you're not a YouTuber. Or you don't watch YouTube. Like, ASMR. Like, if you knew what that was, you'd be totally dying right about now. It's like,
I had to show my
He's just like, I
girlfriend
don't get it.
context for ASMR, but once she actually watched it, like she totally likes like, okay, I get it now.
oh, yeah, it's hilarious. I think I'm going to talk like this for the rest of my life.
so the first step in field dressing.
God damn it, Beavis, you ruined it.
Tom, I see wood.
My other favorite one was the boy band one, the BTS. You know, Beavis, it's not that I'm upset. I'm just disappointed. Jesus Christ, what the hell? I wasn't doing nothing but that. I was just, you know.
Oh my god.
What the
I
hell
thought
are
the-
you doing?
The bathroom was so freaking funny. The fact
Oh,
that that guy came back in, he's just like, those girls did so much destruction. You're doing there. It was really Beavis and Butthead who did it all along.
Something's wrong, buddy. We're still in the bathroom. And there's only less stalls now.
Yes, folks, pretty much watch the new Beavis and Butthead episodes. They freaking rule.
They're going to see how awesomely smart we are when we get out of here. They're in the wrong room.
Didn't say that.
Oh, we're totally gonna score.
I love the one where they're in the box, too.
Oh my god.
I'm going to kick your
Dude,
ass
they
with
come
my
out the
head.
box of the classroom. They look like freaking walking corpses.
I'll just take this.
Got the drill on
You
Friday.
know, it's been a week.
I just like when they got each other's asses in their faces and they're kicking each other's asses literally.
Hey, buddy, it's getting kind of hard to breathe in here, huh? Oh, yeah? What are you doing? What are you doing? I'm breathing all the air, dumbass.
I'm trying to take all the air from you.
And they didn't wait. I texted this to Tom. They did not make one fart joke while they were in that box.
They managed not
That
to.
actually
What's
made
in
it
their
impressive.
faces and-
They
See,
had every
Beavis
right
and
reason
Butthead
to
have
do a
never
fart
really
joke.
gone. It's like Mike will never go for the low hanging fruit, believe it or not. Right? Like you can. He's done a few fart jokes with him, but they're always well timed, and you don't expect them. Right? Like that's the thing. He's not going to dip to that level very often. But no, I thought it was very well done without having to have a fart joke.
Yeah.
It
God.
it made it impressive because
Hilarious.
I would have totally been for it if they had went with it. But the fact that they were able to do that and not even go there makes it that much more impressive.
Yeah, he's not one to generally go for the instant fart joke.
Instant fart.
Beavis, my special one.
The fire. Man, that fire is a
It doesn't have to be
whip,
5
man.
pages.
That fire is a governmental. That fire is an environmentalist. So it was like, what the fuck?
That fire sucked.
That fire is woke
See,
as
that
fuck.
episode feels like an episode that was written by Trey Parker and Matt Stone because it's like one whole episode that's set up on one joke at the very end, right? Like that's what every South Park episode basically is 9 times out of 10.
Yeah, you're right. Good comparison.
Especially
Not
like
bad.
the shit coming out of their mouth episode, right? Like, this whole idea is set up, this whole thing of people eating food through their ass so they could shit out of their mouth just so they could set up the joke at the end, basically, of shit coming out of people's mouths, basically. Yeah, kind of thing. And then the same thing with the Bloody Mary episode. So we figured it's not really much of a miracle. All women do it. But with that, I don't have...
Wait,
Did you have
got-
something else to plug?
I got one more thing to plug.
Okay.
It is Clobberin' Time's birthday.
Oh,
today.
that's right. It is.
Oh wow!
So he could not join us because he
What?
was celebrating with his family and having a good time. So I
Happy
just
birthday,
posted
son of a bitch.
a link to his channel. And
Guys, up to clobbering time.
Bobby!
That man's
he
a
just-
wizard of comic
yeah,
knowledge.
he
knows
just
everything.
started
Wizard.
memberships today.
And he's
Oh,
so
bro.
Very,
I'm
very
telling you.
affordable
that's clobbering
memberships.
time.
Go grab a membership from Clobby. He is,
give him
he's-
some love. That dude is
Yeah.
amazing.
Grab it.
yeah, subscribe to
All
him.
right. Hell yeah.
He's such a good
I'm all
person.
in.
He's just a cool guy. He's my
Cool
he's
stuff.
my crush of the week.
That's
Awesome.
That's a good one to have. Sis, that dude, he's such a good dude, and he's so fun to hang. He's a frequent panelist on my comic shop talk on Friday night, and when he just spits out comic knowledge, man, you could just, he's kind of like when Robert Burnett goes off on Star Trek. You could just let Clobby just take over the rest of the show, and you'll be totally fine with it. Like, he just hijacked the show, but I don't even care. I don't even
That's
care
dope.
because that's how. And he's so like the way he words everything too. He words it so accessibly, so people can understand it too.
Yeah.
It's great. Yeah, Clobby's such a fun guy. His knowledge is unparalleled. And yes, he knows his Trek too. Him and Raquel do a Saturday night Trek show
Raquel
where
Briggs.
her
Yeah,
knowledge
shows.
spit comes out.
Seriously,
in
big time.
fury.
Yeah.
Yeah, I usually listen
Yeah.
to editing and stuff.
They're
Sub the
fun.
clobbering times, please, guys.
Yeah, they're
Please.
fun. And Clobby, Nick's not wrong. I mean, not only does he make it accessible, he gives you a background explanation about everything, to get you to, where you need to go to understand this character, the character motivations, the history. I mean, he's really just a walking encyclopedia of comic books. Just amazing.
Cool
Love
stuff. I gotta follow now.
All right. So with that, I might pop in on the Thursday night show. Other than that, of course, the morning show tomorrow and whatnot. So yeah, thank
Should
you
be
all for
fun.
hanging in there. Karate with Infinite Patience.
Yes.
You and I are interesting people indeed. And with that,
Learn it? Did you want to fight? Is that